But that's the type of nature that the horse brings to somebody. Now, it's not for everybody, but those who enjoy animals, who enjoy being outside, you know, you can ride through the woods, especially this time of year when the trees are turning color and the grass, you know, is dying out. You can actually see where you're going, you know, and it's amazing. On horseback, you can ride up to deers. The last ride we did out there, we had a group, a cat group, we will call them the cat group, some young people that came out to ride with us, and they were astonished because they could see the deer, and I mean get up close and personal to them, and coyotes and those type of things. Something that, you know, the average city dweller never gets the opportunity to see except for on television. So it's really a unique experience. It really is.
Well, how can people share in this experience? I remember reading about your organization in the Journal Star, working with organizations and so forth. Do you contact organizations, or do you make it possible for organizations and churches or whoever to reach you? And if so, how would they get a hold of you to let you know that they would be interested in interfacing with your organization?
It kind of goes both ways. Sometimes we solicit, you know, different groups that we're interested in doing things with. For instance, we made the initial contact with the school district because at first they were a little apprehensive about bringing their children out to the facility to do things. And at the facility out in Hampton City, we have the ability to do hayrack rides, bonfires, picnics. We can do all kinds of field games. We have a basketball rim out, baseballs and gloves and that type of thing. As a matter of fact, in '08, we did our family reunion out there for 3 days. We've done church vacation Bible school for New Morning Star, for St. Mark's. Well, no, not St. Mark's. Yeah, St. Mark's. We did St. Mark's out there a couple times, as a matter of fact. Numerous birthdays and family reunions and that type of things. We have been able to come in the city and bring horses into the city. To the biggest one that we've done so far was the PCCEO Head Start group. We did about 400 children with them, and that is not counting the staff, the teachers and, you know, the other staff. And it's really a unique experience because it gives us an opportunity to advertise in a way. And, you know, as I told you, we're not a profitable organization, so the majority of the funds that we use to take care of our travel expenses come from donations from people like Head Start and church groups and those type of deals. But it gives us an opportunity to come into the neighborhood associations, the church groups. St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church, we were able to go, and I think we did maybe about 150 children there for their Awana program. So it's really a good partnership to be able to come in, and the bulk of our advertisement comes from word of mouth, from the children who have been to the farm, or those that we have actually gone to their site, to school, or to their church or whatever. And we have business cards, and occasionally we may do something like this year we were unable to do it because there were some other things going on. We had some commitments that at the last minute kind of backed out on us. But we send out flyers. We do a deal that's similar to, we don't really do Halloween. We do what we call Oktoberfest. So a lot of times what we do is we invite a lot of the people who have volunteered with us through the years, and people who have came out and rode with us, we invite them out. We hand out candy, we do a bonfire and hayrack ride. So that's mostly how the majority of the people, and then of course we have business cards that we give out. A lot of times when we bring horses in the city, people will come by, and normally it stops traffic in whatever area that we're in. For instance, when we were at PCCEO about a month ago, I think after we got done with their group, as tired as we were, there was still another group outside waiting who wanted to ride. And you know, it's hard to say no to little children. You know, they come up and they see the horses, and they're so fascinated because the majority of them have not had that opportunity and probably won't get that opportunity for quite a while. So we try to be, you know, visible in the community as well as understanding and sensitive to, you know, those kinds of needs.
Well, it certainly sounds like it is a very interesting and a unique opportunity and an experience. And, you know, you're like so many things that are well for the community, but you're not well known enough on how the community can get get a hold of you. Is there a phone number or something that
Yes.
people can contact the organization
You know that
or whatever?
we laugh because when we did the first newspaper article, they put my personal phone number in the newspaper. And man, that caused a lot of controversy. I mean, it was a nonstop deal, and I still get people who call who want to donate to the school program. Actually, District 150, they were blessed to get a grant from, I think it was SEPQ and maybe WMBD, somebody like that, that gives the big check out to the classroom. Their classroom got that award. And then plus Miss O'Day is a very resourceful person, and she's written a grant so that their children can actually come out. They've been out about 3 times so far this year. But my phone number is 309 208
208
9145.
91. Now, is that the number that you would want people
Well,
or organizations
that's the
to
one
call?
that's out there already. So
Well-
as the kids say, it's burned up already, so we may as well keep it on that
Well,
one.
then we'll hopefully keep burning it up. But anyway, I didn't know because I'm hoping after tonight's show there will be some people who will go to either their organization and say, hey, I was watching captions and I heard something about the Rough Riders, and I think that might be something that either our adults or elderly or kids can participate. Now, with winter coming on, are there many or any opportunities for any of these things to happen, or do you kind of close down when the weather gets bad, or what's happening as we go into December?
Well, as I
in
said,
January?
there were 16 horses, and I'll let these ladies talk too. I feel like I'm hogging the whole deal here.
But
But
Well, it's good to hear a
Come on.
man be able to talk in the presence of women.
well, what happens is that we try to start up around May.
Okay.
That's when the weather actually breaks. You know, in central Illinois, you know, it's still pretty nippy sometimes in May. So we start up in May. We do stuff with other organizations. For instance, in Chicago, there's a big group. It's called Broken Arrow Riding Club. And it's a large African American riding club. And they do a lot of stuff for the Chicago area. They have a lot more resources than we do, and they're a lot more organized than we are.
I see.
But from May to about Thanksgiving. Now, normally we ride in the Christmas parades. We try to do the Hannah City Parade.
Great.
This year we're going to do the Chillicothe Christmas Parade. And I don't think we're going to do the Peoria Christmas Parade this year. But normally, right around Thanksgiving is when we kind of shut it down for the year. Now, it's still an ongoing deal for us because we still have to care for them throughout the
Yes,
winter.
right.
But as far as doing activities with the public and for groups, you know, we shut that down about around Thanksgiving or shortly thereafter.
Is there any particular reason, and I don't, want to
because
get
of
into
the weather.
something, no, about, you said you don't think you'll be in the Christmas parade this year. Is there any
The
particular
Peoria
reason?
Christmas Parade. Well, as I mentioned, we are a nonprofit organization, and we rode in the Peoria Christmas Parade in '08. Reverend Johnson and myself, along with some of the other people out in the Hannah City area, and then they came up with some different stipulations and stuff like that, and it just kind of made us a little uneasy about what they were trying to do. You know, a lot of people look at us and they think that we're out of sort because we are African American. But if you look at our history, we go back with horsemanship to the Buffalo Soldiers, and even prior to that, you know, Bill Pickett was just, I think, inducted into the Cowboy Hall of Fame.
Right.
And he was the person who was responsible for inventing bulldogging.
That's right.
You know, and then we have a brother, his name is Fred Whitfield. He's still rodeoing if he hasn't retired in the last couple of years. I've been pretty busy in the last couple of years. I haven't really been able to follow it that much. But, you know, the concept is that, you know, we only play basketball and do stuff like that. But we are diversified enough where we can get into other things and, you know, achieve higher levels than that. And there, with the Ladding family out of the Chicago area, they have a rodeo, a traveling rodeo, and there's also a Bill Pickett rodeo that travels the rodeo circuit. So we're not trying to compete with those guys or do those kinds of things. What we want to do is just deal with our community here and to bring to awareness to our children that, you know, there is something other than football, basketball, the traditional sport things, you know. There are other things that they can do. If you look at Broken Arrow, we don't have a website, but Broken Arrow actually has a website, and you can go on their website and they post their rodeos and those kinds of things, you know. So it's kind of hard for us sometimes to get into that market because of the financial reason, because the majority of the funds that we have comes from our pockets. You know, occasionally we'll get a good gig where you know we'll make a couple $100 or so, but then a bale of hay is like $5. So when you times that times 16 plus 8 bales a day, it adds up real quick. So there's not a whole lot of money in it for us. So we're limited to, you know, the kinds of things that we can do. And getting back to your original question, you know, we enjoyed riding in the Peoria Christmas Parade, but it just got to the point where it wasn't cost effective for us.
Well, I would love for you to say that you want to ride, and maybe somebody out there, a small business or a church or whatever, would, I mean, if the money is the issue, then let's identify that, you know, there's a fee to participate. I would love to see some black cowboys, male and females, riding in a parade so that,
well, we would love to do it.
The Santa Claus Parade is the oldest Santa Claus parade in the nation, and I would love for you to be there. There's no way our young people can be inspired and motivated if they don't ever get a chance to see it.
And you know, for the first year, in '08 when we wrote, Reverend Johnson and myself wrote, and we went as representatives, you know, for our community, and you know, it wasn't like for show or fashion or anything like that. You know, we want our children to see that there are positive role models, there are people who are doing things and out of the norm, you know, not the basketball, the traditional kinds of things. And we partner up with some other groups. There's also another African American group here in town. It's Peoria Drag Races, and we did a thing for them at Carver Center this year. So we try to partner up, and it's not just the African American. We'll go anywhere, wherever they'll have us.
I understand that, but I would love to see a parade in downtown Peoria, the Christmas parade, and seeing some individuals riding horses. That in and of itself, and again, I don't know whether the weather is conducive for horses.
Well, it's pretty cold, but that's not an issue, you know. And it's not something that I don't think that's impossible, because we've done it before. We rode in '08, and we'd like to do it because we'd like for our children to see us ride in the parade. And since the last couple of years, we've had a lot more exposure than we had in '08. So a lot of people are more familiar, so they can relate. They know who we are, you know. So when they see us, you know, they can identify with, you know, well, those are the same guys that came to our school or to the daycare center or to our church and that kind of thing. Well, so it's a good thing. It's a positive thing.
We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back and continue to talk and give your organization and the three of you, as well as whoever else you'll be inviting to the next segment, so that they can be exposed and we can continue on. For those who are watching, please stay tuned. After the break, we're going to come back and we're going to continue to talk about the Rough Riders and what they hope to accomplish in terms of working in our community. So please stay tuned. Call your friends, call your neighbors, call your children, so that they too can be exposed to what's going on in P-Town. We're horsing around. We'll be right back.
I could be the face of AIDS.
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 Could you be the faces of AIDS? Get tested. Know your status. For more information regarding counseling and testing, contact one of these agencies listed.
The hungry in this state, even though they may be invisible to some, are very real.
Because we were in the midst of a recession then, there were all kinds of economic problems. The Community Action Agency in Peoria decided to take that on as a project, and we found a location on Southwest Adams that was suitable for our needs at the time.
When the coalition started, we were networking and interacting with each other to find ways that we could fill our pantry shelves, and the food bank was started also as a kind of a conjunction with that to help people be able to fill their pantries at a lower cost.